In the beginning of creating the heavens and the earth was chaos and void, and darkness hovered over the surface of the deep. Darkness, a week of shadow. Atrocities so bleak they blot out the radiance of holiday and Shabbat. The inhumanity of evil, so much so that it stops the splendor of celebration. Last week we filled this building, this space, with music, with songs, with dance, weaving the hope of generations, joined in joy of community. We would then wake with horror and a shadow that has only grown with each and every passing hour and day. The burning of Jewish bodies, the brutality against the most vulnerable, massacre, malevolence, the very monstrosity that lurks in our most terrifying of nightmares. We enter this Shabbat Bereshit, this Shabbat of beginning, forever changed. Eyes wrenched open to a reality that most of us denied. Some in our community already mourn murdered loved ones. Others sit in fear of the fates of the kidnapped. Some of us hold together in anguish, others in anger, all of us in grief. And there's a shattering that we hold this Shabbat. So many of us devoted to the ideals of justice, of redemption, find those words mutated and maligned. As some in our world, some on our streets of the city, have the audacity to celebrate the most inhumane and to frame Jewish liquidation as liberation. Some of us feel abandoned, halls of learning instead becoming havens of hate, elected officials and celebrities instead choosing silence over condemnation, allies and neighbors who have stood again and again with the victims of senseless slaughter but are unwilling to do so now when the bodies are Jewish. It is from shadow that we enter this Shabbat. First, there was darkness. And then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. The early rabbis imagined that upon Adam's expulsion from Eden, the sun set for the first time. Surrounded by a darkness never before experienced, Adam trembles with fear and calls out, "V'omar ach choshech yishufeni." Is darkness now going to enshroud and conceal me forever? And in these first moments of darkened exile, from the place of insecurity, God comes down and gives Adam 2 flint rocks and teaches him to kindle his own flame. What Prometheus had to steal, Adam received as a gift from God. The beginning of darkness sparked humanity's ability and responsibility to create light. This is not the story of God raising the sun nor obliterating the darkness, but rather giving us the tools, the first response when it all comes apart. This is the first technology of Judaism, to speak and spark light into being. Thousands of years later, enslaved and afraid amidst terror and affliction, plagues descended upon Egypt. And as the 9th plague of darkness arose, we read, "V'l'chol b'nei Yisrael haya or b'moshvotam," but for all of the children of Israel there was light still in their dwellings. From Adam to Israelite, in the face of darkness of biblical proportions, our ancestors retained the secret to kindling the light. Generations later, Haman would arise, seeking the annihilation of the Jews of Shushan. And in the face of their destruction, we read, La Yehudim Haita Ora. But for the Jews, there was still light. Generations again. The great Hasidic master, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Alter of Ger, witnessed the ravages of Poland in the face of war and pillaging. And as he looked at his ruined community, once again the technology of Jewish creation of light remained. He taught this quote, "To be a Jew is like a star to bring light to places of vast darkness. Thus, even and perhaps especially when Israel descends into the darkness of its Egypt, its mission is clear, to light up the darkness of the most depraved and immoral parts of the world. Let there be light, and separate the light from the darkness. Against the backdrop of shadow, this week we also saw light blaze anew. We witnessed a divided Israel unite in shared purpose. We witnessed a fragmented world Jewry stand together in solidarity. We witnessed millions of people rush to aid, to arms, and meet devastation with dedication. We witnessed a call to make a minyan for a murdered Israeli's funeral, and 10,000 people arrived. We witnessed our president issue one of the strongest declarations of solidarity and support of Jewish people in our entire history. And within our community, we witnessed light blazing from so many hearts and homes. A light that raises our hope, a light that raises our resolve, a light that calls out of the darkness. Be the light of compassion. One of our members this week, in the span of just a few hours, created support groups in this building for Israeli parents and their children whose partners now fight on the front lines. Others in our community have raised phone and email trees to reach out to Israelis near and far to share words of care and concern. Others in our community are trying to link isolated and traumatized people here and abroad to communities of support. Others are starting bake-a-thons. Others are sending cards. Others in our community are donating plane tickets to Israelis trying to get home to support their family and friends. Be the lights of generosity. Right now we have members who have already raised in our community millions of dollars just this week for emergency medical supplies. Others are helping to fund bulletproof vests for the IDF. Others collecting for food and clothing. Others looking to pair Rod Shalom with a devastated Israeli village. Others looking to help house and support Israelis fleeing here to New York City. And our very own Rod Shalom school opened its classes yesterday to the children of such Israelis fleeing, making sure that they have safety, education, and community to embrace them at this time of fragility. Be the light of care. From all corners of this congregation, people are checking in, offering support, sharing strength, showing up. A first grader yesterday gifted me with an Israeli flag. A congregant sent insomnia cookies to all of our staff and maintenance and our security team in gratitude. One of our 8th graders baked cookies for each one of our clergy, leaving us this note: eat for the people you love. And of course, the voice of Gili, one of our 5th graders at Rod Shalom School, gifting us with your voice and your spirits tonight. Thank you. And be the light of advocacy. Within our community, we have parents who have challenged moral blindness in local high schools, members who are publicly decrying their alma maters to stand in support of Jewish students, members who are stepping off of boards in protest, members who are calling on representatives and CEOs to show that underscoring humanity needs no equivocation. Be the light. Rabbi Yossi taught in the Talmud, "Once I was walking on a pitch black night when I saw a blind man walking with a torch in his hands. I stopped and asked him, "As a blind man, why do you carry a torch? What purpose does it possibly serve you?" And he replied, "As long as the torch is in my hand, people can see me and walk beside me." For most of us, we stumble in times of deep darkness. We may wish to retreat from a world of shadow. But there is another option and another obligation: to notice those who bear torches around us, those willing to kindle the spark of creation, even in the face of it all, and to see purpose in kindling light, even when we cannot see the rays that it casts. From creation till today, we are called to be, as the Sfat Emet said, the stars against the blackness of night, to gather together and to blaze against the shadow. Every Friday, we reenact the moment when Adam learned to become a creator of light. We fill our homes every Friday night with reminders that we are called to greet shadow with illumination and become the stars against that shadowed sky. So wherever you are from afar, wherever you go tonight, light candles. Light up your room. Light up the windows. Light up the city. Light up the world. Two blazing reminders of Jewish resolve. Two dazzling displays of Jewish purpose. Two shining reminders of Jewish strength. In the beginning, the earth, chaos and void. Darkness was over the deep. And God spoke the divine response into being. Let there be light. And on this Shabbat, let us be the light. Shabbat Shalom.